little later, okay? So, but let's actually, I think I'll have to get to Excel for today. Okay. So last week, you guys remember we went into some use cases. Sorry?
Conditional formatting.
Conditional formatting, and in that use cases, actually there is one thing I wanted to tell you. I think if you guys remember, give me 1 second while I'll just open that up. So we, at least it seemed like we didn't know adequately about how it was working, right? And then basically, I'm just looking that up. Okay, let me see if it's here. So I have some additional information, just some experimentation I did, and then I found out a little bit about how it works. So I'll just share that, and then we will move over to the other stuff. Okay. So let me know if you're able to see my screen with the last week example. Are you guys able to see that yet? Okay, hold on. I think I'm not sure why. Okay. I hope you should be able to see that now, right? Okay. So, okay. So the way it works is something like this. So we were figuring out at that time, actually, let me see. Yeah, this one, right? So, yeah. Okay. So what we did here was we did this conditional formatting. Okay. And then we said, okay, what if you modified, I think we removed the dollar symbol for the column. Is that correct? And then we were trying to figure this out. In fact, let me just make that until G. Okay. Remember, we put it at 200, right? We called it margin. And then, okay, so click OK. So now let's say 200. Oops. Okay. And also, let me just look at this. Not greater than 4.5. It is basically what you have to do is not F but G. Okay. And this is here that we had changed. Okay. So G4. Okay. I think this dollar symbol, I think should be all right. We'll see. We are essentially trying to focus on this particular one. And then clicked OK. And then clicked OK. Okay. And now we noticed that this column got highlighted, right? And we were trying to figure out why. So actually, let me do this. Let's say I'll put in 195, something like that, so that we have some other number, right? 357. Okay, something like that. And then right now we anchored it to G4, and that's the reason why you can see this whole thing is getting highlighted. And to figure out how exactly it's working, see, basically this is how it works. We'll also experiment it. So if you look at the top left cell, okay, so what it does is it basically applies as though you're applying on the top left cell and then copying the same thing across, okay, to the selection. Okay, that is how it works. So let me just sort of show that to you, for example. Okay, so if we had copied, so basically what did we do? We said G4. Okay, so if there is a formula, so let's say I say equals G4, all right? Here it's referring directly to that. Okay, so I would just copy paste that. Then what happens? It's now referring to H4, right? So for this particular cell, it should, what is there in H4 should influence the formatting in D4 based on this hypothesis. Is that correct? Yeah. So let's see if that is correct or not. There you go. Okay. So you can continue to do that and so on and so forth. Got it, right?
Yeah.
Huh? Okay. I'll remove this. And what's the reason the entire column is getting highlighted?
Because we applied the rule to that particular range. We anchored row to 4.
Yeah, exactly. We anchored the row, and that's the reason why it's getting applied to the entire thing. So for example, if I just modify this, okay, to not include the anchor, okay, then it will behave differently. Okay, then wherever, in fact, this is not supposed to be highlighted. We will just see why that is happening. It gets, oh, it's now taking sort of 4.5. That's the reason. So it should have been greater than 400. Sorry, 200. Okay, so then it will behave differently. There you go. Oh, we'll set greater than. So we'll have to make this 201. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, clear until now? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, so I think that's the main thing that I wanted to share from last time. But yeah, last time we did work on conditional formatting. I think you guys have a decent understanding. I thought I will do more advanced conditional formatting, but given that the time is limited, this time I'm shifting to formulas at this point in time. Okay. So all right. So let's get into this. Okay, so there is a good workbook called Getting Started with Formulas. I'll use some part of this. Okay, so if you look at, let me see, so a good chunk of what I'm saying, some of you may be aware of it. I apologize, because I also wanted to ensure that those who do not will also sort of catch up with it. There could be some that you might learn, but if you have something more, you please add so that everyone knows what it is. Okay. So all right, so let me just get to the anatomy of the formula. Okay, so this is the anatomy of a formula. If you look at this, so see, a formula typically contains the following things. Okay, it must start with an equal to sign. Okay, you could also have other operators. So for example, let me just take this and yeah, something like this. Okay, so you can have equals. Okay, let's say I'll say these two. Okay, and then hit enter. Right. So but you could also use a plus symbol instead of an equal to. Okay, it will have the same result. Okay, so let me just put some numbers here. So on and so forth. Okay, I'll just copy paste this just to, yeah. Similarly, you can also use a minus and use the same function and it will still work. Okay, only thing is it will have a negative symbol because there is a minus at the beginning. All right. However, this is not true with a multiplication symbol. That won't work. You can check this. Okay, first of all, it's not even giving the formula because it is not a formula at this point so far as Excel is concerned. Okay, so sorry. Okay, all right, this doesn't work. Similarly, divided by symbol, actually I'm trying to type that, but typically when you do this, the menus will get highlighted. But let's get in, let's do this, let's say sum, and then let's do the same thing over here, and let's see if it works. It doesn't work. Okay, so you could potentially use a plus or a minus, and then the formula will still go through. Okay, and why is this useful? It is useful, particularly plus is useful because, see, you have a keypad on the right hand side, right? Typically, if your laptop has a keypad, right, you will have a plus symbol, a big plus symbol on the top right. Okay, just below the minus. All right, so when you have that, this will be very useful because you don't have to reach out to equal to. Okay, in that case this will be useful. Okay, but in any case, the software does take equal to automatically, so it doesn't matter whether you have the plus or not. Okay, this is just a tidbit. All right. Okay, so let us get back. Okay, so here if you look at this, so a formula always includes what's called a function. Okay, sum is an example of a function, and it has to have an open bracket. Okay, followed by various parameters. Okay, so and each parameter separated by a comma. Okay, and once all the parameters are done, you have a close symbol. Okay, so basically I'm also keeping into account folks like Shravan who may be new and it might just throw up an error or something like that, right? So whenever, sometimes what happens is, see, the reason why I'm talking about this is sometimes if you don't have an adequate number of closed parameters, closed parentheses, then Excel will throw an error. Okay, and if you just read that, you'll be able to know where exactly it is, or you have to experiment where it is, where you have to close it, and when you close it to start working. Yeah, just to sum up, right? You have equal to symbol, function, open brackets, right? Various arguments, right, or parameters, whatever you might call, and then after it's over, you close. Okay. So the number of parameters can be fixed or variable. Okay. So for example, if you take, let's go to an example. Okay. So if you take sum, okay, equals sum, right? So what you can do is you can actually give any number of parameters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, any number. So you can see here, you typically get help as well whenever you type in a formula, and you can see you can actually add any number more. I think you would have a limit more like 256 or something like that. It is not the cells, but just the number of parameters, separated by commas that you can give. Okay, so this will work, so no problem. Okay, as opposed to this, for example, in some cases there will be fixed number of parameters. Okay, an example of this is VLOOKUP. Okay, when you have a VLOOKUP, right? So let's say I'm looking up for this one. Okay, and so there's something called a table array. Can you see this in the sort of help that you get right below the formula? You don't have a dot at the end. Do you see that? It means that you have fixed number of parameters. Okay, and also there's a little bit more. I'll just come back to this. Let me just complete the formula here. Okay, so let's say I do this. Okay, and I close the bracket and I hit enter. Okay, so basically it will tell you there are just too few arguments to this function. You have to add adequate number of arguments to this function. Clear, na? Right? So in some cases, basically it will tell you. So this could be basics for some of you, but it's worth noting some of these things. Okay. So there is also one more thing that I would like you to know, which is that some of the parameters are mandatory and some are optional. Okay. So if you look at this, the way you can figure that out is, by the way, just looking at it, the parameter that you are currently in the help, you will see that it gets highlighted with a bold. Okay, all right. So if I just move my cursor, for example, that will change. Okay, so it will tell you where you are so that you can then mentally figure out what to write there, right? So yeah, you can also see, for example, that like I mentioned, there are some maybe I didn't mention, there are some mandatory ones, there are some optional ones. Okay, how do you figure out which are the optional ones? Typically optional ones are towards the right hand side. Okay, and here in this particular case, you can see what it's calling a range lookup is in that square brackets. Okay, so that tells you that it's an optional argument. Okay, so let me just give you an example of this. So let's say this one. So column index, let's say I want to say 2, right? And I hit enter. Okay, so did we enter everything? So that okay, so I hit enter, so it will go through. Okay, so what happened here? So basically okay, 6. All right, okay, cool. So what happened here, right? So if you look at it, there are two things I will quickly tell. We will get back to VLOOKUP a little later. Okay, but the main point that I want you to observe here is that even if you did not give the optional one, it still went through. That's the main thing to get here, right? Okay, clear now? So but if I were to remove this one, right, including this, it will give me an error. Okay, all right, cool. So yeah, so that is so far as the mandatory and optional are concerned. Okay, now let's get to some other things. So what I'm talking about right now is, see, once again, just going back to the anatomy, you have the open bracket, right? You have commas, right? So within these, what all can you give? So here in this particular case, the person had given A1 to A10. Okay, A1 to A10 is a range. Okay, you can also call it a reference, right? So depending on the formula, you could either give a range, okay, or just a cell, right? So both are possible, okay? At the same time, you can give some other things also in a parameter. So for example, you could give a name, okay? Like for example, you can say add, let's say in salary components, right? You have basic, you have let's say HRA, you have, let's say, you know, whatever conveyance allowance and so on and so forth, right? So all of those get added. So you can potentially say, assuming that there is a name associated with that, you can give a name. So let me just demonstrate that for you. So equals sum, right? So as of now, I have not named it yet. So let's say, for example, we'll call this you know, basic, right? So we have not given any name, so it will throw up an error. I understand it. So basic HRA, okay? So these are the two, for example, all right? And I would hit an enter. It's saying, is there a name? Now let's call this. So this is a way you can name a cell, right? Like we discussed before. We'll call this basic. Did I give a capital? Okay. Okay, so that is one thing that has happened. So there is still one more, which is HRA. We'll call this HRA. Okay. Now the formula recognizes that, and then it will use it. Okay. So this is the second one. You can use a name, right? And the third one is you can also add in just a constant number. So for example, I want to add 5 to it, right? I can do that, right? So wherever you have arguments, you can give a constant any point in time, right? Unless maybe it's mandatory for you to give a range, right? You can also give another formula here, okay? So for example, let's say I would like to give a sum inside of a sum, and let's say I want to add these two, right? And I want to give that, right? I can do that as well, okay? Then there is also one more thing that you could do depending on the formula though, okay? You can also give text, right? But it depends on whether you can give text as an input or not, okay? So for example, concatenate is one such formula, okay? Which will take both numbers and text, okay? Let's say if I want to give text called, let's say, sample text, all right? And then I want to give a number, you know, which is basically in this particular case, it has automatically taken the name, right? So I can give a reference right here, right? I can also give another formula like we discussed. Let's say I would say sum, right? 1, 2, right? I gave constants, right? So in fact, we can give one other constant as well. Let's say 5, right? So you can give all of this and it will take everything, right? Because this particular formula is capable of taking text and formulas and numbers and everything. Okay. All right. Okay. So what you can do is you can actually in a specific cell, right? So just some additional tidbits. I think this is something that I had mentioned before, but I will just mention this one more time. You can hit F2 when you are on the cell, that is, you can hit F2 in order to open up the formula. Okay, and then you'll be able to correlate which cell is which by color. So for example, you can see this is basic, right? And we know this is basic, so it will highlight the cells in the same color and the text in the same color and also the specific cell, so that you can easily relate the formula. Okay. Another thing that you could do is you could also, sometimes formula is really long, right? So like 3 lines, 4 lines and so on. You could use this to sort of expand the formula bar. So this is called a formula bar, by the way. Okay, this is called the formula bar, and you can expand that, and then you can sort of click on it, and then you will have the exact same thing that we just discussed, which is that the colors will get highlighted and so on. You can see that happening here. Okay, all right. So yeah, so those are some things. You could also, if you want to, you can hit, give me 1 second, let me just turn off the video for a minute. You can also do this, which is you can like hit the fx function, and you can get into insert function dialog box. Okay, this is an insert function. This is similar to the calculated field option that we have in Tableau. Okay, so and then you can sort of browse all of these and you can see various functions and so on and so forth, and then you can basically use any of those. Okay, and you can basically double click. You can double click and then it will get into the formulas and so on. We'll get to that a little later. Okay, so there is one more thing I would like to tell you, which is there is a shortcut to insert function. Okay, and that is F3. Oh, sorry, my mistake. All right. Oh, F3 is for this one. I thought, okay, my apologies. I thought F3 is for insert formula. F3 is for insert a name. Okay, but that's a good thing that you guys can know. Insert name, you can paste name using this one. All right. Okay, so okay, exit this. All right. Okay, so the next one I would like to tell you guys is that again, apologize for covering some of the basics, but I just want you guys to know that what you can do is inside a broader formula, right? You can also insert multiple formulas. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let's say you have equal to sum. Okay, and you have, let's say, this one. Okay, then what you can do is you can add any operator, okay, and add another function. Okay, let's say I want to add these two, for example. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, plus, say for example, let's say minimum of, let's say, all of these numbers, for example. Okay, like that. So you can add, I think you'll have a big range. I think maybe some 256 or maybe 30, 40, like that. Okay, I hope you guys don't reach it, because there's no point in reaching that, because nobody will understand that formula if you have so many formulas. But the real thing for you to know is that you will be in a position to add multiple formulas within the same formula, and you'll have to have an operator in between. Okay, either plus, minus, sometimes you can also have ampersand. Okay, so when you have text, you can add ampersand, so things like that. So you'll be able to do all of that stuff. Okay, clear now? Okay, all right. So now let us do this. So basically, let us cover any questions up until now, because I'm changing topic a little bit. I'm going to one of the functions.
No, Chaitanya, from my side.
Okay, cool. So actually, let me do this. Let me just stay with this one, and I would like to add something. Give me 1 second. I would like to show you guys something. See, we talked about references, right? So see, basically, whenever you have this, so this is a reference, okay? And there are various ways of giving a reference. So I'll cover that also today, okay? So references are of two types, okay? I think this one is called A1 reference. Let me just check that, okay? Okay, so yeah, it's called an A1 reference type, okay? And it's worth noting what each of these mean, because these are very interesting, right? So the simplest one is A10. It refers to A and 10. Okay, so column A, row 10. That is the cell it is referring to, right? So A10 to A20 translates to from A10 to A20. Okay, and just to be clear, let me just expand this so that you guys can all see it in larger text, right? So there is a colon in between. Okay, so maybe Shravan, this is a different type of colon usage. Maybe you should cover that also in your English course, session. I'm just kidding. So this is Excel, but basically you can use a colon in between, and that's what it is. Okay. So basically, what is this? So you have, so this is in a same row. Okay. You can also give a specific range, which is more like a rectangle. So so B15 to E15. Here it is basically covering a sort of specific so across columns it is covering. Okay, it goes from B15 to E15. It covers that particular row, right? In this case, it was one single column. Okay, it's going from A10 to A20. It's clear, right? no need for demo, hopefully, right? Yeah, okay. So, and then you also have what's called a, so within a single, basically, if you want to select the entire row, you can do that using this, okay? And you can do that if you want to highlight all of the rows, all of the cells in rows 5 to 10, you will be able to do that over here. Similarly, column, okay, and similarly multiple columns, okay, and this is basically like a rectangle, okay. I'll quickly demo this to you, okay. So let's say, let's use the sum formula, which is a simple and easy formula, right? Is equals sum. All right, so we talked about, so let's say a single cell, that's clear, right? And basically some cells in a specific column, we discussed this, right? Some cells in a specific row, right? And a single row, multiple rows, a column, multiple columns, right? And like a rectangle. Okay, clear now? So that's a quick demo. Okay, so let's do this. Then actually, okay, so I think, yeah, this is something that you guys should know, which is this. I know I would like to go to this one. Yeah, R1C1 reference style. So this is a different type of reference. Okay, so this reference is something like this. So basically, you use this. You can actually use this in Excel as well. Okay, typically in, whenever you use it. So let me. So I have to change some settings. I'll just go ahead and do that. But let's first understand, what does this refer to. This refers to what is called an R1C1 style, which is, you are basically saying, from the current cell, how many rows do you go, how many columns do you go. That is what this is saying. Okay. So okay, let me just demo that to you guys. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll have to enable this. Options, I think the formulas. Okay, this is called R1C1 reference style. I'll have to enable this. Okay, once you enable that, it will be available to you. So let me, okay, now so I think, yeah, okay, so it has already started to use it because we have changed the option. So you only have an option to use either that or this. You cannot use the combination of it, unfortunately. All right, but let's see if it actually works with the combination. Equals, let's say A1, right, is equal to sum of A1 to okay, B2. Okay, it is working. Oh no, it's not. It is not working. Okay. So let's see, if you highlight, it automatically takes this. So it's like either or. You cannot, you don't have an option, looks like, huh? Unfortunate, but that's what it is. All right, so now let's use this. So equals, I'll just select it. Okay, that will make it easier for us to look at this. So first of all, let's see this. If you just select the same one, it is RC. All right, if you come down one row, then it is R1 and C nothing. Okay, so, and then similarly, if you go up, it is -1. Okay, so same with columns now. Column RC +1 -1. Okay, and if R1C1 basically means it will go diagonal. Okay, so this is how it works. So the rest of the functions will sort of remain the same, right? Except that you have, R1C1. Okay, so it is worth understanding where is it useful, right?
Yes.
So where it is useful is particularly in VBA. It is very useful. So when you use in Excel, typically people use the regular A1 method, right? Because that is far easier. And one thing you also notice is that the column headings have changed from A, B, C to 1, 2, 3. Okay, when you go into the R1C1 mode, that's sort of worth noting for you guys. Okay, so where is it useful? It is useful especially in formulas, right? When, let's say, you want to apply see, you know how this works, right? Let's say I type in, let's just, let me just go back a little bit and go into options. Formulas, let me see. Okay, so when you have equals, right, and then you give sum, right, and let's say you have this formula, right, or I'll just put in equals before, right, and when I copy this over, okay, it automatically becomes C4, right? So I copy this over here, it becomes B5. So what's happening? So when you copy a formula that has a specific reference and paste that into a different one, then it intelligently sort of moves the formula and writes the formula automatically. So from B4, it becomes like C4. Okay, similarly, if I copy across a specific column, essentially adding more rows, then it will add 1. Okay, so here, for example, if I put in $, right, then that will anchor it, right? I think we already discussed this before. Okay, okay. Now, what is the point I was talking about for R1C1? I think there would be probably many other uses. I am not very knowledgeable about that because I have hardly used it. Okay, I would use it only when it is really, really necessary. Otherwise, I would not use R1C1. Okay, and what I have noticed and whatever I have used is when you are writing a formula, okay, in VBA specifically, instead of having to copy, typically if we want to do the same thing, like I copy pasted, right? So what we do is you apply the formula to one specific cell and then copy that and paste it over, okay, in order for you to get the effect of changing formulas, okay? And typically, if you look at it, copy paste uses the clipboard of the computer, okay? And when you use the clipboard of the computer, what happens is you are essentially using the machine, right? And that is a slow process, and it can potentially slow you down if you use copy paste across large number of cells. Okay, and for you to get rid of that, you can say, hey, this whole range, I want to apply the same formula, and that is, let's say R1C1, for example. Okay, then automatically all the cells will have R1C1, and each of the cell would understand what the formula is, right? And it would appropriately read it. So there's no problem. You guys got the point?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that is one specific use case that I know, but there could be other use cases that I am unaware of. Okay. There could be many other use cases that I'm unaware of. Okay. Okay. So, all right. So in the interest of time, it is 9:44 right now. So I would pause. So if you have any questions, we'll take those questions and then we can pause recording.
None from my side.
All good from my side.
Just I want to add the shortcut, like for inserting function, it's Shift plus F3. That's what I would
Shift
like
plus.
to add.
Okay, got it. Yes, yeah. Okay, it's a long time since I used that. Let me just demo that for you. Shift and F3, that inserts the function. Great, thank you, Jairam. I appreciate that. Shravan, shoot. You are on mute.
Chaitanya, before the R1C1 style, we can identify the formula, Chaitanya, so that before C4. But here, how we can identify the where we are? This is showing R4 here also 1 and 2, here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Columns and cells.
So, sorry, what's your question?
So my question is, if you are highlighting here, it's showing R4C2.
C2, yes. So, so basically, I think there is one more thing I would like to add. This basically shows I don't know this much actually because I haven't used it much. Okay. So what it's doing is when you say R4C2, it is automatically taking to row number 4, column number 2. Okay. But like we discussed before, I think, so if you add this, okay, these square brackets, then it actually becomes the plus or the minus. Okay. So without those, it basically tells you it is row number 4 and column number 2. Got it? Yeah. So it's a matter of whether you are used to it or not. I think it is probably also related to certain transition the way of looking at it. So for example, I think early on, if my understanding is correct, there used to be something called Lotus Notes. Okay, when I say early on, maybe probably 1995 or probably earlier, 1990 or something like that, where Lotus Notes was the popular software at that point in time for spreadsheets. Okay, like many things, Microsoft does take up others and they use it. Even the graphical user interface for Windows is also considered to be either invented or maybe first used by Apple, and then Microsoft took it, and then they became the standard in the industry, right? Even though it's changing a little bit at this point.
Lotus.
Sorry,
I have used Lotus.
you have used Lotus, okay? And in Lotus, is that the way they use formulas?
No, it was somewhat different from Excel, not exactly the same.
Okay, got it. It starts with, let's say, I think they use like @ to start a formula, is my understanding there. But anyway, so I think it is related to that transition. So for example, when you want to make it compatible with Lotus Notes, for example, then you have to have the same way of working, right? So either Lotus Notes or something else. But in any case, this exists. I think the important thing that I wanted to tell you is that this exists and you guys need to know it. I think that's all I wanted to share so far. It is. I really don't know the antecedents and the history and all of that. I could be totally wrong about it. Right? But does that answer your question, Shravan?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Okay. All right. What else? Let me remove this because I think you may have more stuff on the regular formulas. No other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Cool. So